Summer asks, what's a good rule of thumb for picking a new goal time? Trying to improve my 5K, I don't know what's realistic. All right, this is like the hardest question we've got so far. Summer, thank you so much for submitting it. I love getting deep into Q&A with Coach now that we're on episode 6. We're really starting to get into some more difficult questions, some nitty-gritty questions. So thanks again for submitting this. It's tough. I talk to a lot of runners about, what could I run in a particular race in 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 to 5 years. And it's really difficult to say. I would encourage you to focus on the process of training and race consistently. So when I say focus on the process of training, I don't want you to be always thinking about your goal time and things like that. Focus on doing the work. Every day, get out there and do what's expected of you, even if that day is a recovery day and you're not doing anything. So, if you have a day where you're resting, rest hard, okay? And, try not to overwork yourself on those days when the goal is recovery. I would say that for the 5K, you can be a little bit more aggressive with not only your goal time, but how you approach races. You can race more frequently because you recover from a 5K much faster than you would, say, from a longer race like a half marathon or a marathon. And also, you can be more aggressive during a 5K race. I have this racing strategy in the 13 Lucky Racing Tips ebook, which you can download if you haven't already right here. And this strategy is, let Jesus take the wheel. And this is kind of a tongue-in-cheek reference of going out really fast and starting the race at a very aggressive pace and then holding on for dear life. And sometimes this is, it scares runners. What if I hit the wall? What if I bonk? What if I, just slow down? And, that's admittedly going to happen. But if that happens 2 or 3 times, one time you might have an incredible breakthrough. And that's what we're going for. So with a 5K, you can run 3 to 4 5Ks in a 5 to 7 week period almost every weekend. And, you can change up your racing strategy. And this is why I think, having multiple race strategies on different days can be really helpful because you'll be able to not only find your strengths as a runner, but you'll be able to find, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Some runners are rhythm runners. They have their goal pace and they just like to stick to that and they hold that through the finish line. Some runners like to gradually negative split a race, while other runners like to go out fast and hang on. And yeah, they might slow down a little bit at the end, but ultimately it's a more helpful strategy for them, and they'll end up racing faster doing that. So, I would say, if you've only been running for, let's say, 1 to 3 years, you should try to focus on taking 30 seconds to a minute off your 5K, maybe once every year. And of course, there's going to be people who can do a lot more than that based on, their training and where their fitness is. And there's going to be people who, are not able to take a minute off their 5K time, which is, over almost 20 seconds per mile. It's very significant. But the ultimate thing is just to keep racing and make sure that you're doing 5K specific workouts. So these are workouts that mimic the demands of the race itself. So a quick example is if you went on the track and you ran 3 1-mile repetitions at your goal 5K pace with only a minute in between, that workout is very similar to the 5K race itself. And so if you're able to run 3 miles on the track with 1 minute in between as an easy recovery at your goal 5K pace, in a race situation, maybe if you rest a little bit beforehand, a short taper, you're probably going to be able to do that during the race itself. And so, there's a lot of trial and error there, and with multiple races, you're always going to be able to, continuously see how much that you can improve. So I would race frequently, do race-specific workouts. Also, just focus on your training itself. You just get down and just, have a block of time where you're only training, and then you have a block of time where you're running a lot of races. And so if you follow that kind of a model, I know that you're going to have a lot of success, and I think you'll be running PRs in all these 5Ks more often than not. And I'll leave you with one final suggestion, which is to don't limit yourself to the 5K. It's really helpful to run the 10K, 8K distances. If you can find, a series of track races or even road races that are shorter than the 5K, the mile, the 2 mile, a 3K, even a 4K, these are all ways to help you improve your 5K indirectly. So, you work on a little bit of a slower pace, but a longer distance in the 10K, and then you really work on your speed in a mile or a 2 mile. And then when that all comes together on race day, and you'll be able to run a really good 5K race.